And it's not to say that this Renaissance is greater than... We've had many Renaissances, and we're going to keep having them.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really a choice either.
No, what we should be doing is tapping into that great energy, not fighting it, because we're spending too much time fighting to, like a dominance of ideas, or people saying, oh, I won't listen to that one, but I'll listen to that one. Too much fighting, too much stress. Don't people get tired of it?
Well, you listen to an idea and then you decide whether you want to adopt it or not.
Right.
You don't go, oh, I don't like it already.
Mm-hmm.
That's why just foolish.
I say the power people really have got is a power to agree. I think the power of agreeing is better than the power of disagreeing.
I disagree with that.
Okay, and that's cool. That's cool.
I think you get more out of disagreeing. If someone else got a different idea to present to you, then that involves your understanding.
But does it manifest?
It doesn't mean that you have to agree with that idea. So you disagree with the idea, but you know that other people think that, or that's a different idea than you, and you can keep that in mind.
Do actions speak louder than words?
That changes your thought more, and you can adapt, doesn't it? But if someone agrees with you, it's over, isn't it? I mean, I think this, I think that as well. Okay, cool.
I'm talking about the manifest of the idea. Because if you disagree, and there's nothing wrong with disagreeing, there is a power in disagreeing, but what does it result in? It results in a stalemate, a stagnation. Things stop while we deal with that issue.
Yeah.
Once we've agreed, we either move on, which is a good thing, or we can now manifest what we've agreed upon.
But the disagreement is highly important in that situation.
Of course it is.
Because if no one disagreed, if they disagreed internally and didn't vote.
But what I'm trying to say is, just like actions speak louder than words, the agreement allows what we've agreed upon. Yeah. The action, thought, emotion, and action.
But
the sun.
Just because it's the last stage doesn't make it more important. The disagreement is just as important as getting to the agreement, isn't it?
Well, for example, we've got a plan on how we're going to purify water. And there's a disagreement on the exact things that we're going to do to process that water. But finally, we agree. And when we agree, we implement that as the solution. That was the more powerful bit for us. We wanted pure water. Why? Because we're healthier.
Well, yeah.
So, but that doesn't make how we got the water pure unimportant. No, I say that's very important, because why are we agreeing in the first place? We're agreeing because we ethically agree. We're agreeing because we can do it that way. It's doable, it's practical, sensible. So I think in life, the way God has made it, the simplest solution is always the best. It's always the best. It's always the easiest to do.
It isn't cutting corners.
Well, that's why we should take time and debate things properly. And we've got a great tool, the internet. We can share ideas. But do we have patience to sit through all of these ideas until we stumble across the right one? Well, I actually think now, because they've invented all these spy tools, guess what they're going to find out? They're going to start to find out some good ideas for a change. Yeah, some positive ways of thinking, not just negative, because everybody can be negative.
But
negative news sells, doesn't it? It outsells good news, and I want to know why that is.
The only problem with disagreeing is when it just comes into conflict. If you can't find an agreement, that's where you have a problem.
War is the absolute failure.
You keep giving ideas, and they keep giving ideas, but you never come to an agreement. What do you do then? It's conflict, then, isn't it?
Yeah. And war is the absolute failure to agree on anything, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even to the point, I don't agree you should live.
Yeah. And obviously
and if you're going to have anything that like building a society or whatever, and I don't like using these words, but it's words people know out there so that they can at least try and follow us a little bit, then we need peace, we need stability, we need sustainability. We don't need maniacs going around.
How do you get there practically?
Well, for a start, stop training military people, all you're here to do is kill and be the best killer and all that crazy shit. Because they're doing that with our money, and I don't want it.
But when you say stop doing that, they're going to go, no. And then what do you do?
Right,
so
well...
It leads to more conflicts. So how do you reasonably get to a society of peace?
You must talk to the real human being. for a minute. The real human being isn't necessarily found in their mind. You know, you can drug a mind, but I don't know if you could drug the heart in quite the same way. Do you understand what I'm saying? Alright, some of our deep-seated emotions, we don't know why, and some of us do, we study, why emotions like grief or love transcend the body. You know, you can explain it chemically, but that ain't it. That's not the experience of it, you know?
Well,
it's like the why of it is, why do you have that emotion? Why? Why do you care about your family? Why do you care about your children? Why do you want to fight somebody to protect your children?
Natural impulse.
But aren't we beyond that yet?
No.
I mean, look at all the great stuff we've got.
We perceive it in lots of ways.
I think there's a lot of shit stirrers out there. I think there's people going to other countries, shit stirring, just so that they can have an easy life of it. Laziness. Lazy motherfuckers, right, who've got far too much money and nothing to do that's real with their time. So they come up with crazy, stupid ideas. Yeah? Not maybe a moment of responsibility because they don't even wipe their own ass. You know, they could just have a poo in the middle of the carpet. And the butler will come along and say, "Very nice, sir," and just clean it up with his tongue, you know. And that's the kind of society that people say is great, is it? Mad people. You know, the insane people.
What constitutes being mad or insane, then? Why are people insane? Like, if you're saying that happens, then...
Well, you've got... Morals and ethics are going to be in there. If you can't differentiate between right and wrong,
but not just that.
And when you say, what is right and wrong?
What makes someone insane?
Reverence of life, or not the reverence of life. Respecting life.
But it's not an idea that makes someone insane. That's not what makes them insane, is it?
Alone? No, because ideas come to us. They try propaganda. How does that propaganda affect you?
Let's say someone doesn't have this desire to protect the family, right? Mm. So they just let them suffer. Mm. That's insane, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so
say that again. Say that again. So I'm fully with you because I don't want to say, make a mistake here. This is important stuff. Say that again.
If someone doesn't want to protect their family, right? Mm-hmm. So they've got a family and they used to care, but now they just don't.
Right.
So they just let them suffer. Mm-hmm. That's insanity, isn't it? It's insane to do that.
Yeah.
So what makes that insane?
Well, a lot of things, but I could boil it down to there's no love there. And I have experienced love, and I know what love is. And we're lucky that we can make mistakes. Because if you don't make mistakes, you've never felt grief. And therefore you will not try to avoid a grieving situation. Experiences make
It's the absence or lack of emotion, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what makes someone insane. So it's not really so much the ideas, it's the feeling that's missing that makes those ideas come to pass.
Right.
And it's not even really an idea. It's
and our emotions,
you don't even think about
our emotions, things of the mind or things of your heart.
It's the things you don't think about, I think, that make someone insane. Because that's why they're like that. If they could think about it, maybe they could change their ideas and not do that. But
they're very smart.
It's very irrational.
They're overly brains persons. That's what they are. They live out of their brain, not in their heart. Because they'll say in their world, well, if you've got a heart, you're giving all your money away. Well, and we don't want that. We live in our brain.
I was trying to come to, because you were saying it's like, I think you mentioned something about ideas, but I can't remember your exact words, but I was trying to say, well, maybe it's just the total opposite of that. Because you've got your ideas and your emotions and they're interlinked.
Yeah.
But if you're insane, it's because your emotions are fucked up or just not present. It's not working properly.
I think they have them, but almost
and that's why it's called mental illness.
Yeah, it's almost like they can't handle the pain. You know, they can't handle the grief. If they had to really sit down and think about how many people have I done this and that to,
exactly.
Emotionally, they are traumatized. You know, they're like the soldier who's been to war too many times.
So it's not fuck you. It's you need to help these people. They're ill.
This is it. right? They're suffering the madness of King George. They're suffering like kleptomania. Everything's theirs. I want it all, and I'm going to have it all, and I'm going to take it with me to the grave, and then my kids are going to have it, and nobody else is going to have it, and I'm going to ensure my... How can your kids survive without everybody else? You think your kid... What if one of your kids just happens... Doesn't matter what you do, they're born with a disability, and they're not smart like you.
Let's just bring this back then, because we was talking about, like, if you have a disagreement and you can't come to, like, an agreement in that, but that's because they're mentally ill at this point. So,
are we all mentally ill?
You have to restrain them for their own good then, don't you? You have to be like, because they've got this power, right? And they're doing damage with it because they're broken.
Yeah. Well,
so
people who are
you have to take that power away, and then they'll have some time to think and have that emotion, and it'll come back, and then they'll know who they are again and know what the point of it is. So that's what needs to be done. Power just has to be taken from that and spread out.
I want you to say that again, but I want to say this. People who are in permanent disagreement, when things seem, that's quite reasonable, that, and he's being very kind and considerate, and he's offering that, and it might not be a case of, say, where you win money, but they'll go, okay, we're not going to do that, and you don't do that. That's fine as well, yeah, because don't we all want to live in peace? Yeah, some of them, yeah, they know they've been doing some wicked, evil things, but you know you're not going to answer to me, don't you? You know you're going to answer to God, the one that created us all, and we're all going to end up there together. I don't know how you're going to be able to exist as a frequency next to other righteous frequencies. They might cancel you out. I don't know what it's like. They might cause what you become to feel pain. I don't know. It might be too much emotion for you to bear, to then have to face the people that you've done that to.
And that's happened because they've got so much vast power. It drives people insane.
Yeah, and they are like PlayStation addicts. They can do something with the computer, and they can shoot people with the computer, and they've detached violence. Violence causes no pain. Violence could be a thrill. And so with this detached sense of reality, they can be in their little bubble and not feel no pain. And if everything's rosy. And even if they hear the words, they don't hear the same words we hear because they've never experienced what loss is. And the Queen has lost family members. And I hope in my heart that she's like all of us. And that we can identify with her through that.
But it's impossible to say. Because not only is she not in our situation and not seeing what we've seen and experienced what we've seen, then it's the same the other way around. We don't know what that's like either. So there's no connection. So the empathy is missing because we don't have the information or the experience to be able to empathise with it. So that has to change. Like, they can't have this hierarchy in society because there's this disconnection. They don't link.
Yeah.
It's totally separate, and then it becomes a war.
Some of their tools, I can see now, that's probably going to be an opportunity, because had they not been paying attention, everything we're saying would have been missed. But since they're so paranoid, listen to this. And I know they listen to what I say.
Yeah, but they listen to it already deciding that it's a threat. So it's like, yeah, this person's saying that, and that's threatening.
Well, that's immature, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not nothing like that.
Whether it's immature or not, it's a fact, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's time to grow up. Maybe we could all be great buddies. But they're going to have to change. I'm not friends with crazy people. I'm not friends with crackheads.
And they'll have to change.
I'm not friends with thieves.
You have to be willing to change as well. You can't demand someone else to change without considering the options.
Well, I've already changed. That's why I don't associate my life.
It's ongoing, isn't it?
With that. And that's why when they say we're this and we're ruling everything and we get to tell... I don't know what they're talking about, really. Because they don't inspire me that way.
And the only way for them to ever listen to you is for him to be pulled out of the situation that they're in. Because otherwise, they wouldn't want to listen. I mean, like, my life's going fine, fucking people over. I'm totally detached. I don't feel any emotion.
But again, when you confront it like that, when you look at it like that, as a confrontation, like George and the Dragon or something, right? What would have happened if the whole universe suddenly became isolated from them? So they can exist, but you live in your little bubble. But I don't know how you're going to get these things brought to you. because nobody's doing that anymore.
Precisely.